So in the ultimate irony, I was interrupted at the crucial moment by my own telephone, which is always ringing or always on the go and always full of emails and tweets and LinkedIn messages. So the next issue I will talk about is busyness, but in relation to the third reason why social media has impacted my professional life is that it is incredibly interesting and I'm really well informed. When I was assisting in the reprieve from execution of Mary Jane Veloso, the first place I went to on the morning when I was expecting to wake up and for her to have been executed, the first place I went to was Twitter, because the news is much quicker. And I discovered that she was still alive and she'd been given a temporary reprieve 30 minutes before she was due to be executed. You can read about that. It was an amazing experience for me. I'm not sure if I got that as a result of my research or just as a result of luck, but I helped her, and knowing about her has been maintained on social media. So the communication between me and the people in the Philippines and people in Indonesia has all really gone on Twitter and by email. That does lead me on to how on earth do you fit it in? When I'm in London, I fit it in mostly when I'm on the train. When you're travelling and it takes hours to get anywhere, and when you have to travel to a Midlands court centre or a Northern court centre or somewhere out in Norwich, you don't want to be getting your papers out onto the table because the public might see confidential information. But you can deal with such a lot on your phone or on your iPad that people on the train can't see. You can interact with social media from a personal or professional level, and one of the ways that it's assisted me is to pass on some information to people that I'm working with. So if I'm co-defending with another barrister and there's a report of a relevant legal case that someone else posts on social media, or if I see a blog about something, I might pass it on to someone else. And the best example I can give of this is a blog by Adam Wagner. Most of you watching will know that I defended Amin Jogi in the joint enterprise case that was decided by the Supreme Court in February this year. What you won't know is that part of the law that was argued was an issue around Article 7 of the European Convention on Human Rights, really relating back to common law legality. If the law's clear or not clear, the same issues arise. Common law principles and in Article 7. When I was drafting the application for leave to the Supreme Court, I was looking into these issues, common law legality. It was somewhere stuck in the back of my mind from many, many years ago. Some research, you know how it is, it sticks in your brain. And I thought there must be something around the convention rights on the same point, and I sort of found Article 7. And then I used Mr. Google. I often tell students that I teach or other barristers that the best research is certainly not done on Google, but sometimes it can be a little bit lucky. It may not be the best research, but it's a very useful linking tool. So not exactly social media, but certainly the internet. So I Googled Article 7, and there was a blog from Adam Wagner that you will all know from One Crown Office Road, who runs Human Rights Info. A little blog about another case, but along the lines of the same issues that I was thinking of. So I pinched a bit of that blog, rang him up and said, look, I'm about to put this application for leave in. Would you just run your eye across these 2 paragraphs of these submissions on the Article 7 point? If we get leave, I'll give you the brief. And frankly, the rest is history. We did get leave, and the point of the Article 7 issue was extremely important in the sense that if we hadn't won, which we did on the first point of law, then we had somewhere else to go. So you could say that his blog, his social media activity, not only got him a brief, but helped a decision to be made by the highest court in England and Wales. Perhaps that's putting a bit high, but it is a positive outcome from social media. Busyness, fit it in when you can. I think it's really, really important for women lawyers. You really can't always go to the golf course. You don't really want to go to the golf course, or go on endless lunches, or down the pub, or to the wine bar immediately after work, and all those social events that still exist around alcohol and eating. And I love to eat and go out and enjoy myself, but it's very, very difficult when it's actually a marketing exercise for your practice, particularly when you have a busy life, whether it's children or whether it's other interests. Certainly I know women at the bar who are in a choir, who go to the gym, who have a life and are trying to maintain that life and don't always want to be going out to long boozy lunches with people they don't necessarily know personally. So I think social media is useful for that reason, that you can put yourself out there without actually having to physically put yourself out there. You can be seen as an expert in a particular field without having to tell someone you're an expert face to face. You can demonstrate it by the blogs that you write, what's on your website if you have a separate website, what you're tweeting or what you're putting onto LinkedIn, particularly if you comment on other people's posts. So you make a knowledgeable comment about what someone else is saying. So I think I've really come to social media in a fairly haphazard way. I now use it relatively strategically, but I enjoy it so much that the pleasure comes above the strategy, if you like. But I think my experience can be useful for you to understand how to effectively use social media in your professional life.